Hello there, welcome to the video of this week. This is Shamala Tan. This week I'm reading to you my chapter from the book Pebbles in the Pond, Transforming One Person at a Time. This is a very special book. It contains a compilation of over 40 transformational stories from transformational authors and leaders from all over the world. I feel really honored to be part of this group of world changers, transformational leaders and coaches, and I'm so happy to share my chapter with you today. The title of my chapter is From an Addict to an Intuitive Life Coach. "Get up, or else I will kick your face in," I shouted down at him gleefully. As I looked down at him, I saw the elevator door slamming against his head continuously. Not hard, but enough to move his head back and forth. He was lying on the floor with his head sticking out of the elevator. He had passed out. Kay and I giggled. We could not help it, even though we knew it was unkind to do so. We just could not help ourselves. "Shh, let's not attract attention," said Kay. "Should we call someone?" I said, trying to see the seriousness of the situation. "That will get us into trouble," retorted Kay. "So what should we do with him?" I said as I poked G's back with my foot. Then both of us burst into giggles again. "Let's drag him back into the elevator and up to your apartment and see if he wakes up," I suggested. 4 hours later, I felt myself stirring. I was waking up. But wait, I was not on my bed. "What am I doing here?" I thought. I looked around and saw that I was at a wine bar with people I did not know. I could not make out what they were saying. I felt deaf, as if the whole world around me was muted. The people at my table looked at me and continued with their conversation. I felt alone, scared. I recognized that I was at my regular haunt, and then I remembered I had come here with Kay and a bunch of other people. I looked at my watch. It was 3 a.m. I don't know how long I sat there for, but I was feeling very uncomfortable as I didn't know these people I was sitting with. Was I having a conversation with them before I woke up? How did this happen? I spotted Kay at a distance. I waved, but she didn't see me. I looked at my watch nervously again. It was now 3:30 a.m. A voice inside me said, "Go home. Leave now." I stood up and ran to the taxi stand. That was a day in my life in what feels like a lifetime ago. My life then was filled with drunken blackouts, feeling lost, and not knowing how I got home or who I went out with. The constant sense of disorientation, heavy heart, guilt, self-loathing, and a deep sense of inner sickness filled me and my aura. I could deal with the real physical sickness, but the inner sickness was beyond me. I often woke up in the morning with a deep sense of regret and vowed never to do it again. But when night came, I was back to drinking my poison. They say that one of the signs of an alcoholic was the desire to drink alone. For me, drinking was no longer a social activity. It was a necessity, and I drank alone at home often. This was my story. Well, it was only half of my true story. Let me explain. When I first submitted my chapter for this book, I thought it was enough to talk about my alcoholic problem. However, my story was incomplete as I did not share everything. So when the editor asked me to rewrite on the first edit, I knew that I had to be transparent here and share my whole story. What I'm about to share with you is not something I have kept from other people. It is by no means a secret. In fact, the story is 20 years old. I've shared it with many people, especially if I felt that my story could help them, but I stopped talking about it a long time ago as my story was judged, misunderstood, and it made other people very uncomfortable. So here I am again, sharing the story, hoping to reach out to the right people who will find strength from my story and their own transformational process. As you may have guessed, my alcohol dependence did not happen on its own. In my late teens and early 20s, I took to the clubbing circuit and enjoyed the crazy life it offered. Through the party circuit, I met someone whom I liked, and after 2 dates, I really wanted to see more of him. He took advantage of this, and our relationship then took a strange turn. He began to treat me with warm affection one day, and then coldness the next. It was something different every time I saw him. Sometimes he would call me at my office countless times, like a caring boyfriend. Other times he would not return my calls for days. Some days he would praise me, and other days criticize me. I would feel deflated when criticized and say to myself, this relationship is not right for me. And as if he had read my mind, he would immediately change his tune and started being loving to me again. So it gave me hope that the relationship would work. But it was the most confusing relationship I had, if you could even call it a relationship. In all of these emotional and mental turmoil, he also date raped me twice. By this time, my self-confidence, self-esteem, and self-image plummeted. I felt violated emotionally and mentally more than I did physically. When he disappeared from my life, I was relieved even though I was lost. I had no direction in life. I kept asking myself, how could I have been so stupid? I should have seen it coming. I saw a counselor 8 months after we broke up, but I kept the self who was being counseled separate from the one who lived the party circuit. I took to drinking because it was available. As a drunk, I was abusive to taxi drivers, other park crawlers, and strangers. Basically, I became a nuisance to society. My dependence on alcohol lasted for close to 10 years. I remember the day I decided to stop drinking for good after not knowing how I got home the night before again for the umpteenth time. I felt an inner strength stirring, which till today I do not intellectually know where it came from. At that time, I began to have the most bizarre dreams. The strength stirring within was somehow connected to the dreams I was about to experience for the next few months of my new life. The dreams were uplifting, healing, and very much a part of a deep spiritual awakening. I experienced tremendous healing when I dreamt of a well-known Indian spiritual guru visiting in my home. In my semi-sleep state, I also saw celestial beings convening in my living room, attempting to communicate with me. I was bewildered by the dream experiences. Did I dream them or imagine them? Was this the after effects of giving up alcohol? All I knew was my life changed forever after the series of dreams. For a period of several months, my dream world and my waking world merged intermittently. I looked forward to going to bed as the dreams revealed to me unlimited possibilities and how they could positively affect my waking reality. I could go on to describe the dream experiences, but I know that my words would fail me. It was one of those things in which you had to be there to see it. And of course, they were my dreams and no one else could ever experience them the way I did. I mean, how could I possibly describe the beautiful sounds of heaven being played in my ears as I awoke one morning without sounding like I had gone crazy? Good things were happening to me and that was good enough for me. Day by day, the world looked different to me. My deep self-loathing slowly evaporated. I worked on loving myself and accepting my body image, and most importantly, I forgave myself. Making the decision to love and forgive myself were very difficult things to do. Not because I didn't want to, but because I did not realize that I was not loving myself. And I did not know that I was punishing myself through my self-destructive actions. During my recovery, I spent hours in meditation, read many spiritual transformational books, and applied what I have learned to my life in order to change myself. I learned that one can never learn and acquire wisdom if one does not apply the information. I grasped at whatever I could to get better. Through my journey, I saw the value in all the difficult lessons, such as being in an abusive relationship, dealing with addictions, becoming a nuisance in society, and most of all, dealing with my biggest enemy, myself. Today, I'm happily married to a wonderful and very spiritual man, and we have a beautiful daughter. Looking back, I feel as if the one who was lost and burdened was someone I knew a lifetime ago. I believe that everyone is given second, third, or fourth chances in life. We all make mistakes, and sometimes very destructive ones. But if we are willing to face ourselves and deal with the most difficult parts of ourselves, we will open up to deep inner transformational healing that is divinely orchestrated and inspired. I feel blessed to be in a position now to help others with their metamorphosis. The gift from the universe to me is to set butterflies free. I hope you have enjoyed my chapter. Thank you for listening. God bless you and Namaste.